Today on episode 79, our Jose Abreu episode of Typical Chicago Fans, we have Sinkers and Floaters, the TCF Sports Minute, our local legends interview, everyday Madden ratings, over-unders, and TCF Rewrites the Rules. Let's roll. Hello, welcome to episode 79 of Typical Chicago Fans. I'm your boy Boomy on Twitter at BoomyTCF. Make sure to follow the main page at typical_Chicago. Check out the Facebook and the Instagram page. Like and follow us on both of those sites. Head on over to the YouTube page. Subscribe to that for all of our content in video form. Make sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. Follow us on Spotify, Spreaker, and Google Podcasts. Make sure you show us some love on there. And make sure to follow the guys that I'm joined with tonight. We got Zach at ZAlilia TCF and Maddie Pucks at schools_01. Tonight's episode. Today's episode is brought to you by our good friends over at 26shirts.com Chicago. Head on over to 26shirts.com/Chicago. And check out all the coolest Chicago sports merchandise that you can find. They've got everything from the shirts that you see that I have on. I love this one. It's my mascot days. I've got a bunch of the best fitting shirts I own. Zach's got some shirts too. They got hats, hoodies, flags, anything you need. Head on over to their site, find the products or the products that you love. Check and go to checkout. Use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. 15%, guys. Typical Chicago Fans. So if you love our show and you love great Chicago merch, head on over to 26shirts.com/Chicago and pick up some great items that help out a great cause. Some of their profits go to help local charities and help those in need. Just make sure to use the promo code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout. And like I said, the first people that send us proof that they bought a shirt, if we get to 10 by October 1st, I'm giving away a free t-shirt out of my own pocket. We'll get you set up. So make sure
I'll double it.
Maddie's going to double it. We got two winners now. All right. So you got, what is that? 2 in 5 chance. If only 10 people, the more we get, the more we're going to give away. So make sure you send us those screenshots that you're ordering from 26 Shirts using the promo code Typical Chicago Fans, and we'll get you taken care of. But boys, we're back in episode 79. How we feeling?
Feeling good. It's the time of year where the weather is just absolutely beautiful. I just love going. It makes you love going outside. Like I said, these last few weeks here before that, it was pretty miserable, but it's been beautiful out. Sports, and more sports on right now. It's a great time to be a fan of sports like us, doing a podcast about sports because we were without sports for a little bit there, and it was pretty miserable, and we were being rewarded for it now.
Yes, we were definitely getting our payback for in a good way. We're getting our payback for being, deprived from sports for so long. Maddie, how we doing?
I got to piggyback off Zach with the weather, man. We got our first little hint of fall crisp around in this area, like at nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
It's just giving us that little hint that football's around the corner. You can literally feel the pads crushing against each other when you step outside. And it's 55 degrees out. So I'm getting excited. I know you can tell that, obviously, but can't wait for football to start up on Thursday night, man. The NFL, I should say. We already got a little sample of some college. It's been actually some pretty good games so far.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen a couple college games kick off. I've already lost money gambling on it, so all is right in the world. So can't complain too much. But let's jump into it, boys. As always, sinkers and floaters. My sinker, I'm going to get it started. This is an attorney in Charleston, Illinois, who is quite a scumbag. And that is because this week there was a motion to dismiss based on prosecutorial misconduct filed in Coles County DUI case. And basically what it came down to, this guy who's a prosecutor, like I said, Charleston, Illinois, where Eastern Illinois University is, was basically telling his DUI client that he could take it easy on her in order or in exchange for some favors, we'll just call them sexual favors. And this guy's just a scumbag. There's a bunch of different complaints in here, but basically he was trying to use his position of privilege as a prosecutor in the county for pretty bad things. Guy's a complete scumbag. He's being outed now. That DUI case is probably going to get dropped. He's been obviously in some hot water. I don't know if charges have been filed against him personally, but I'm glad they got scumbags like this. There's everything going on in the world. There's so much, with the justice system, being brought in and to find out, that there's, and now they're going to have to go back and see if there's any other cases of misconduct in the past, that could have resulted. But, good on Coles County for getting this figured out. But this guy is, he said, if you really want to look it up, like I said, he has said some outlandish things to these clients. Like I said, named Todd Reardon, a prosecutor in Coles County in Charleston, Illinois. But it's good to see, good things or bad things happening to bad people. And I think Todd Reardon, if these things are true, is a pretty bad person. So that is my sinker.
That's your sinker. My sinker is the internet. Internet tried to say that Jay Cutler was dating, who is it, Tommy Lahren? Is that how you say her name?
Tommy Lahren, yeah.
Yeah, she, I don't know. That's kind of weird that they're friends in the first place, but I just thought it was kind of funny. He had a video on his Instagram today, and I think that was like a mini horse or a cow or something, or
yeah, I thought it was
one
a cow.
Of his animals. And he said, "This is the only girl for me." The internet loses this one. It is kind of funny to see Jay Cutler become like the guy on social media.
Yeah, leave our boy Jay alone, guys. Come on,
leave him alone. He's at Deer Camp 2020 right now, so he's got better things to do than listen to the internet. But the internet loses today, and Jay Cutler is not dating who the internet thinks he is. He's just living life, guys. He's just living life.
And I'll admit, Zach, hand up, man. I fell into that because I retweeted some hilarious tweets.
You probably hoped to God that you were like, oh well, this is happening. I could bring this up.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't like quote tweet anything, but if it was funny and it made me laugh, like I probably retweeted. Like if you go back and look at my Twitter, there's probably like 6 to 10 tweets that I definitely retweeted because I was laughing extremely hard, thinking that those two were seeing each other. But yeah, I definitely fell into that.
Yes, he confirmed they are not.
For now,
Matt, yours is gonna be a good one.
Well, we're on my sinker first because I already talked about.
I know
that was my floater.
I know.
So my sinker though, and I'm gonna upset a good chunk of our listeners here with this one. And well, I should say if we have a large segment of female listeners, I'm probably gonna upset them because I'm going after their favorite store, and that's Target.
Thank you. I hate Target.
My sister loves that place.
Hashtag done with Target. When you do that stupid ass store pickup that they try to push, that you order online, you pull into their stupid ass spots, and you press a button and they run out there with your package or your box or your bag or whatever crap you're getting from there, or whatever crap your wife is sending you there for to pick up for her. Half the time, the shit you need, it shows up online. Oh, yeah, we got 100 of them in stock. Okay, I'll take 2 of whatever my deodorant is. You get there, all of a sudden the notification comes, your order's ready, blah, 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 come pick it up. Oh, yeah, store it at the little bottom. There's a little message that says, yeah, this item was not available. You get there, and that's when you finally see it. And that's when you see the only thing I needed out of this $150 purchase is 2 sticks of deodorant that I ordered. But, for God's sake, why would they be in there? Why would they be in there? They said it was there online. This is one of our great corporations in this country is Target. And they can't tell me if they have deodorant or not.
They couldn't give you a little bit of a heads up.
It's ridiculous.
Or just like swap it for a different deodorant. Like, come on, guys.
Just give me an option to say no. We don't, because you know me. Being who I am, I have to get Old Spice Swagger just because that's what I am.
Matt,
Mr. Swagger.
You as a human just scream.
I just drip Swagger, so I've got to get the Swagger deodorant. Obviously, it was either that or Champion. They didn't give me the option for Champion either. Just give me something. Give me an option for something.
As of probably 5 years ago, I am very anti-Target because I went in there one day. It was somewhere in the suburbs. We were up in the city coming back, and we had to stop. And I wanted to get like one of those dishwashing wands, instead of just using like a rag. Okay, so they had the wand in aisle 14, and the heads that go on it were in aisle 15.
Yeah, it's what they do with their stupid ass bins too. They have like the bins on one section. The lids for it are 300 rows away.
My point proven.
It just
I'm not
blows
gonna
my
lie,
mind.
guys. I don't go to Target a lot, so
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't.
I won't.
TCF is officially anti-Target.
I stand with my friends. I will not go to Target.
We don't take a lot of hard stands on companies on this show, but Target is public enemy number one.
Yeah, I mean,
all right,
just be
Maddie,
better. Be better.
Maddie, I hyped it up a little bit. Let's go right into your floater.
All right. Well, my floater, and we're gonna go to Lincoln, Nebraska for my floater, and this is a true American hero named Anders Christensen, and he pleaded to the Lincoln City Council to rename one of my favorite foods, boneless chicken wings. He wants to rename boneless chicken wings because they're, in fact, what he says are not wings from a chicken. So, Zach, I think what we got to do, we just got to play the audio for this guy.
Yes.
My favorite part, too, is just when you'll hear about halfway through, when he goes into this soliloquy of, getting very serious about a cause that he's passionate about. And when he says what it's for is for boneless wings and renaming boneless wings, there's a snicker in the crowd. His reaction to that guy, please, I'm trying to speak here, is just laugh out loud funny. And this guy is such a staunch critic of boneless wings. How do you not side with him at this point? Give me saucy nugs all day. Zach, play the audio.
Lincoln has the opportunity to be a social leader in this country. We have been casually ignoring a problem that has gotten so out of control that our children are throwing around names and words without even understanding their true meaning and treating things as though they're normal. I go into nice family restaurants and I see people throwing this name around and pretending as though everything is just fine. I'm talking about boneless chicken wings. I propose that we as a city remove the... Excuse me, I'm trying to...
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Sure.
Come on. I propose that we rename boneless wings in the city of Lincoln. We can call them buffalo-style chicken tenders. We can call them wet tenders. We can call them saucy nugs or trash. We can take these steps and show the country that where we stand and that we understand that we've been living a lie for far too long. And we know it because we feel it in our bones.
What a legend. Absolute legend. This guy needs to run for some sort of public office because
I need saucy nugs all day.
The passion he has for this, I mean, it's unbelievable.
You won me over. I'm never ordering boneless wings again. When I go to any restaurant that I want something of that ilk, I'm getting saucy nugs. That's just the way it is.
Oh my God. I love how serious that's the best part is the serious, like
I am
there
team
is,
saucy
and you said
nugs.
it before you played the clip, like how he said, like, excuse me, like I'm trying to
where he was interrupted on his his passion speech is just priceless.
Stand up for what you believe.
The amount of time that he's probably spent thinking about names for boneless wings is probably outrageous.
Yeah, how can you not get behind saucy nugs?
No, I'm with you.
I love it. What a human. My floater, on the other hand, is not as good as Matt's, obviously, but it does have a special place, and that's grandma's. And that's because I have decided to get into a little bit of gardening this summer, obviously with all the free time I had. And I just planted 2 tomato plants, and they went absolutely insane. I have well over probably 60 tomatoes growing in my little tiny garden.
Love it.
Yeah, so it's going well, but I don't know what to do with all these tomatoes. My wife's not the biggest tomato eater. Yep. So I'm thinking that I'm going to keep a couple of that. But the reason that my floater is grandma's is because
I was waiting for it.
I was getting there. My grandma, my dad's mom, told me that if I bring them to her house, she will can them and make spaghetti sauce for me, and I just have to drop them off, give her a week, and then I can pick up my cans of homemade spaghetti sauce. And she even asked, she goes, do you like garlic or no? I said, Grandma, I love garlic. She said, I'm going to make them extra garlicky for you. So, boys, spaghetti at my house after about a week or two.
Man, you know what though? The best thing about that, it's like that's basically like getting a cow and dropping it off at the butcher for free.
Exactly. That's
a
spot on.
And first off, you have
and I guarantee I leave her house with also a bag of cookies.
Yeah. First off, you have no idea how to even try and do what she's going to do. So you don't have to even worry about that. And it gives you somewhere to take the tomatoes. So boom, 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 boom.
So win.
And
I
get you know what? We might have to try a new type of saucy nug with the homemade garlic marinara.
I
love it.
Drop a few of those little bad boys in some pasta. I think we're cooking with gas now.
Boys, my floater is something I don't know if you guys have been a part of yet. Is fantasy football. We got drafts going on all week. I don't know if either of you are in.
Already did 2 of them.
I've been a lifelong fantasy guy every year, multiple teams every year.
Not this year?
First year, probably in 15 years, I'm not in a league. It's so refreshing.
Wow.
I'm not going to lie.
I'm excited. I love fantasy football.
I'm making the switch to DFS this year and a little bit more probably just the daily action elsewhere.
Unfortunately, I still go for the daily action too. But I love fantasy football. I think it's until you're out of it. But it just kind of gives you another reason to watch the games, another reason to get the red zone and stuff like that. So, like I said, sometimes I don't like talking like the X's and O's of all of it. Because I'm not really like that much into like this guy's got that many yards, this whatever. But it's just fun to have a little competition with your buddies, put a little money on it, and then it gives you another reason to watch the games other than having probably gambling on every single one of them.
Definitely. I'm just not very successful at it.
I didn't mean to make it sound like I'm
no.
That's not the case. I've spent a lot of time in my life in fantasy sports. I'm a big fantasy baseball guy. Like the baseball league I'm in, it's a lot of fun.
I can't do fantasy baseball. It's too much for me.
The nice thing about this one is you set your lineup once a week, so it's set up like football. So you just do your lineup once a week, and that's what you get their games for that week. So
because there's ones where like you can change every day.
Yeah, that's way too much.
I got kicked out of a fantasy baseball league because I forgot to set a lineup. Like the whole season.
I could see you being that guy.
The only
fantasy drafted Byron Buxton his rookie year because he was like having a really good spring training, and I started him in the outfield, and I forgot about it, and I checked back in August, and I still had him starting in the outfield, but he was at AAA the whole summer. So
yeah, it only took him like 7 years to become a stud all of a sudden. So.
Yeah, no kidding. He was supposed to be the next big thing, but yeah, I'm with you, Zach.
He's awesome now. He's awesome now.
Yeah, definitely. I like fantasy. I like, especially this time of year, because like I said, I'm not very successful at it, but I love the drafting aspect of it. So I'm with you on that.
For sure. That's the one thing I miss. That's definitely the one thing I'll miss this year is the draft.
You're just going to have to go do a bunch of mock drafts, Maddie.
Yeah. Mock draft Maddie. There we go.
Mock draft Maddie.
Gives you a reason to drink on a Wednesday night.
Definitely.
Like I need another.
Zach and Matt, we got the TCF Sports Minute. Like we said last week, we're still kind of clarifying it. We talk Chicago and national sports, sometimes even world sports, Monday through Thursday on our TCF morning show, which you can catch on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, any place where our podcasts are. The video forms are on YouTube, and different clips are out on our social media. But we're gonna take some time to talk some sports here. The Cubs are playing in a weekend series. I believe 4 games in 3 days.
You got a Cy Young on our hands.
Yes, Yu Darvish is pitching out of the Cubs, let's see, this week, dating back to Monday, the Cubs took 2 of 3 in Pittsburgh, and they have just won game 1. They have 2 games on Saturday with the Cardinals and 1 on Sunday. The White Sox.
Did you guys hear what they're doing tomorrow? They're going to be throwing Adbert Alzolay in the first game and then kind of taking it as a bullpen game for the second one.
Well.
What do you guys think about that? It's going to be tough to trust that second game.
Yeah, well, you just got to scrap it for 7 innings. So
yeah, I know what you mean. That's just something you never really hear from a team. But they said they're going to be trying to throw a bullpen out there, which is good. I think not have to waste a starter. And then it's kind of
when you beat their ace like you did tonight. When you beat Flaherty, you can get away with something like that.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean,
let's give David Ross some credit here. I just want to touch on this real quick because we even talked about at the beginning of the week that Darvish was the projected starter for the final game in Pittsburgh, and they moved the rotation around a little bit, gave Alec Mills a start in the final game out there, and moved Darvish to the opening series tonight, or the opening game of the series tonight, and he took a no-hitter into the 6th inning. And I just think, like, I'm not trying to, blow up David Ross's tire.
Though.
Well, I understand that, but the Cardinals game to me was more important than that Pittsburgh game. You want to win that game,
but you still probably want to win both of them.
Well, yeah, but I think moving Darvish to tonight was genius. He pitched so well.
I agree, but you can't lose to Pittsburgh, man. That team sucks. That's
yeah,
my
I
problem with it.
agree with you, but I mean, Alec Mills got rocked around, and but at the end of the day, I mean, this puts you in a good position with Darvish picking up the win on Friday night that you can afford to do, like you said about the bullpen game tomorrow on Saturday. So Cubs are looking good.
That was kind of a normal rotation, though. I mean, it's not like they did anything special to move him back. That was kind of supposed to happen.
Well, he was across top. Oh, I'm sorry, Boomy.
You're good. He was the projected starter for Thursday. I just thought, you set the tone with a 4-game in 3 days series. I like to move. I know it sucks. You lost to Pittsburgh, but to pick up that win to set the tone in on the weekend with, having so many games left with the Cardinals. Obviously, it worked out tonight. So hopefully they can keep that going in. The offense looked good. Wilson's starting to have a little bit of a breakout. Javi's playing better.
All the RBIs tonight.
Yeah. Wilson hit that ball.
It was a piss missile, too, that he hit.
Yeah.
Speaking of piss missiles, how about the one Luis Robert hit yesterday? Good God.
Wow.
That ball was absolutely murdered. That almost left the stadium. I saw a tweet from somebody on Sox Twitter.
That guy is becoming a superstar.
He's going to win an MVP very soon, if not this year. But Luis Robert, that ball he hit last night, saw a tweet from somebody. They said it was closer to leaving the stadium than it was to not leaving the field. It was hit that far.
It was.
I think he's got. I want to don't quote me here because whatever. But I think I saw that he has 3 of the top 10 homers in terms of exit velocity this season. That's bananas, dude.
And I gotta say, he has one of the silkiest smooth swings I've seen. His swing is beautiful.
He's built like a freaking linebacker, though, too. Like, he's just a machine. He's an absolute machine.
White Sox are going to be contending for a first place spot, just like the Cubs, and it's going to be exciting here in Chicago.
Him and Eloy, dude, that's just going to be dangerous for so long.
They got a team that is going to be good for a while.
They're all locked up. Locked up.
That's what they did that. Instead of going into contract disputes or whatever, they quickly extended both of them.
I still don't think it was dumb that they didn't mortgage the future either for Clevenger or somebody else.
No, I think that Clevenger trade is going to come back, and it's not bad for the Padres. They didn't lose too much because they have a good farm system, but I think
the Sox can win it. The Sox can win it this year without him.
If the Sox would have done that, it would have been, I think, bad for them. I think the Padres in their spot where that's going to work out for them.
Definitely. I thought so, too.
The Sox are on the short list. I think we can all agree the Sox are on the short list of the best teams in the American League.
They have to give pieces that would ruin this year's chances.
It's them, it's Tampa. It's the A's. It's
the Yankees stink. Yankees stink.
The Yankees are not that good.
You're right. Yankees stink.
They got smashed by the Orioles tonight.
They played the Red Sox, who stunk. Like, that's why they won all those games at the beginning. Like, I don't know. I think the Yankees fans were a little annoying too.
Well, that and like all of
their White Sox, you gotta love that the Yankees stink, because the Yankees fans were all over the White Sox at the beginning of the year, and guess who stinks now? The Yankees.
Yep.
The Yankees are a team you just love to see not do well.
Yeah, I can't stand them.
No, and I know it's one of those weird years, so maybe it'll you won't notice it as much, but they're one of the worst teams in baseball right now.
Yeah, their bullpen sucks.
Wanted to get that out there.
White Sox, on the other hand, they dropped 2 out of 3 earlier this week in Minnesota, but they have taken the first 2 games of the series against the Royals and have a game Saturday and Sunday with them. So we'll see how that week or the rest of this weekend plays out. Moving to basketball, we are into the second round in both the East and the West. The Bucks on the verge of getting not only knocked out in the second round, but getting swept by the Miami Heat, who are just giving them
outscored 40-13 in the fourth quarter by the Heat. The Bucks just stunk it up in that fourth quarter. Took their series. This series is over. It's over. This team, it's for Giannis. This is just not a good look. You're the number 1 seed. You're the MVP. You want to show out. You want to be that. You want to get to the finals, and you're going to get swept by the Miami Heat, and not even the Eastern Conference Finals.
He was 0 for 7 from 3 and 7 of 12 from I'm
what
sorry,
was it, the
7 of
Bucks?
21 from the field. That's
I don't think
garbage.
the Bucks made a shot like outside of like 15 or 17 feet in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
I mean, oh my gosh, 13 points in the biggest quarter of the whole season for them.
and Miami's just putting it all together right now. I mean, they're just
playing crazy,
It's embarrassing for the Bucks.
embarrassing, awful. Like
they're gonna get whatever's it, Budashauser or whatever his name is. He's gonna get fired.
Is Giannis? Did he get extended here recently?
No.
So he's a free agent.
Yeah,
Gone.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens with that if he thinks it has something to do with the lineup. I mean, this is a good team on paper.
If you're Giannis, you got to be thinking about getting into a major market. I mean, Milwaukee's not the biggest market in the world.
Stat from the game: Giannis was again 1 assist away from a triple-double. I think it's like the 4th time this postseason where he has been like 1 assist or 1 rebound away from a triple-double. That's just kind of wild.
The other series in the that we had going on tonight, Friday night, the Lakers fall to the Rockets. We saw the exact same thing in their first series.
I keep hearing that. Yes, Boomy, you're right. You're very right. But this Rockets team is definitely better than the Trailblazers. You'd have to think. But I mean, they put it all together tonight. Russell Westbrook couldn't miss. James Harden was playing well. This Rockets team just if they can't shoot, they're gonna lose. If they can shoot, they're gonna win. I mean, it's just one of those things. They put it all together. Like I said, it's not a huge deal for the Lakers, but I had to say this team is better than the Trailblazers.
Oh,
It's kind of good Russ, bad Russ kind of thing. They're gonna go.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's always with Westbrook. It's always who you're gonna get. And tonight you got the Russell Westbrook who was pulling up on AD and could not miss.
When he's playing like that, he's just so ridiculously aggressive, so explosive. He plays angry, and that's what you like to see when he's playing like that. But
he stops on a dime and just can shoot and just drain that 3 and that mid-range shot. Like, it's just crazy. But then some nights
I think
you'll win a game.
The other series in the West is not looking good for one of the teams, and that would be the Denver Nuggets. I think the Clippers gave them the other night, and I don't know. If you stop Jamal Murray, that Nuggets team is very average. I'm not trying to disrespect Jokic, but you got to have more than those 2 guys to come at the Clippers as loaded as they are.
I thought whoever came out of the Nuggets or Jazz was going to have a big problem with the Clippers. Yeah. I really did not think it was going to be much. I mean, who was going to guard? It's just such a mismatch with those teams. Like I said, Jamal Murray can get locked down by probably 3 or 4 guys on the Clippers team, and then what else are they going to do? And Jokic will get locked down, and then boom. It's just there's 2 guys you got to worry about, and the Clippers definitely have 2 guys who can defend both of them.
Definitely. Other series in the East, the Raptors and Celtics. Celtics have a 2-1 lead after an insane shot.
Opposite, not 3-0. My God, OG Anunoby. Good Lord.
I guess I didn't really realize how much time was on the clock. There was like no time. He had to get that off so quickly.
It was
ridiculous. So smooth when he did too. But I think that's got a chance to be a good series. I do think Boston's a better team.
That picture of Kyle Lowry though with the big smile on his face was just summed up the whole night because that would have gone badly quickly.
Well, yeah, that could have got ugly. Moving to hockey, they are into the almost to the conference finals. Yeah, I believe each division has one team set for the conference finals. Is that correct, Matt?
Well, the West is settled. They had 2 game sevens tonight, and actually, I guess the first one was this afternoon. It was ridiculous. The Stars and Avalanche gave us
I'm so glad
a
you
nice
texted
little
me.
afternoon game 7. My God, it was tied up late with 4 minutes left. Avalanche take the lead. 10 seconds later, the Stars tie it up. Stars end up winning in overtime.
Literally 10 seconds.
It's just such a great series. This Joel Kivaranta, he gets first 3 goals of the playoffs were all tonight. It's a hat trick, including the winner in overtime. Unbelievable performance from him. Across the other game tonight was Vancouver and Vegas. Vegas won 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
They took the lead with 4 minutes to play. That's how good this game was. Thatcher Demko for Vancouver. He's a backup goalie. Came in when Jacob Markstrom got hurt a couple games ago. Absolutely insane performance the last 2 nights last 2 games when you won, pulled the series even. Almost did it again tonight. Held them scoreless for 16 minutes and just couldn't hold off that relentless Vegas attack. So that matchup out west is going to be another one. It's going to be another. Is Vegas and Vegas and Dallas. This is 2 explosive teams there. And, then we got Tampa and the winner of the game tomorrow night. The Islanders and Flyers. So another game 7 there. So it was looking. We had 4 series. 4 series in the NHL were 3-1. 3 of those ended up going to game 7. It's pretty crazy. Think about it.
That's got to be the first time that's happened. You never see.
Might be.
Love it.
That's great, man. I love it.
I couldn't agree more. I'm glad you texted me earlier about that Dallas game because I said they're glued to it there at the end. That was awesome. That was the TCF Sports Minute. Let's move on to one of my favorite subjects that we cover, and that is the TCF Local Food Spotlight. I'll go ahead and get us started. We're heading to Princeton, Illinois, to one of my favorite restaurants in the Illinois Valley. That's a place called Booms. It's been a little while since I've been there, but man, they got a great selection. They have like a $5 burger night or a cheap burger night or something, and they're very good burgers. They have one of the best appetizers I've ever eaten. It's like a deconstructed crab rangoon, and it's got the dip, and you dip the wonton chips in it. You cannot go wrong. If they still have that on the menu, like I said, it's been a little bit since I've been there, but if they still have it, I can't recommend that enough. So I headed to Spoons in Princeton, Illinois. I'm hoping to be heading over there pretty soon. So, and then also I know I gave one, but I got to give a second one because it kind of goes when we go to Spoons, we also go to this place. It's called Barrel Society. It's also in Princeton. And I'll get a little bit deeper into it, but it's one of the best bars I've ever been to. I'll get a little bit deeper into that, but I had to add those 2 together because they're literally like 4 blocks away from each other.
Love it, love it. Mine, Boomy said he went there tonight. It reminded me of back in high school when I used to go there when we used to play in the Serena High School. It's called Wedren Office. The Wedren Office. It's in Wedren, Illinois. Boomy was talking about the food sizes. I mean, it's all great food at a great price, and it's just it's a nice little atmosphere. It's a little town atmosphere. I don't know.
It's your perfect little country bar. It's like the
Wedren,
ideal
Illinois.
Country bar.
Wedren, Illinois is just like a little town like I grew up in. So it's nice like that. But Wedren Office in Wedren, Illinois.
We did mess up though, Zach. We went to dinner there tonight. We should have went tomorrow night, me and the wife, because tomorrow, Saturday night, is prime rib night. So,
whoa, prime rib night. That sounds delicious.
I think it's fish tonight, right? Fridays?
Yeah, all you could eat fish. But man, did I have a hankering for a burger tonight, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm going breakfast, boys, and I'm staying in Elburn where I live, just down the street. There's a little hole in the wall, kind of diner, old traditional kind of breakfast diner. They're only open for breakfast and lunch. It's called Rise and Dine. It's a cool little place. It used to be it was called the Country Kettle. New owners took it and completely renovated it. It's really, really nice inside. They've tried to provide such a good service during all the COVID stuff. They limited the amount of people that they can have in their restaurant with all the regulations and stuff. So they've cranked up their carry-out business. They do a really good job on their social media stuff with Facebook and showing off what their specials are and the food that they do. Me personally, I like biscuits and gravy. Their biscuits and gravy were really good, but their pancakes were really good. My kid's a pancake aficionado. He loves them. So if he can stamp of approval on the pancakes, you're good to go. Yeah, man. My wife was really, really like all the food that she had there. Just your traditional breakfast menu. So it's got your skillets, your omelets, your 2x2s, that kind of stuff. It was just exactly that comfort breakfast food, and they do a really good job with prices are really affordable. It's a really nice place.
I love a good breakfast joint.
Oh yeah. Don't forget, man, Pancake Pantry in Nashville, Boomy. I set you up for that.
That's my spot, man.
Oh my God, it's still the best in the world. I will say that.
Oh, I would literally drive that 7 hours for like 2 days in a row just to go to breakfast.
Sweet potato pancakes are just bananas. They're doing.
Unbelievable. That was the TCF local food spotlight. Make sure you head to those joints to get your food, get you set up for the weekend, maybe into next week since we got an extended weekend here. But let's move into what is becoming one of my favorite segments, and it's one of my favorite segments because I got to do it with my dad. And this is part 2 of the interview with my dad, local legend Brian Blumhorst. So let's throw it to that interview. All right, everybody, we went a little bit long on that one, so here is episode 2 with my dad, Brian Blumhorst. All right, so let's get into it. Obviously, you've been, the golf has been amazing this summer, but you've been golfing as much, and you're still golfing right now for the simple fact that you retired from teaching and coaching at literally the most opportune time that any single human could retire. What does that feel like? Like, that's got to be a great feeling.
Here it is. Just yesterday is the first time I felt retired because, all my buddies are back teaching and back at school. And so I'm like out on the golf course by myself and there's like nobody around. And I think about I'm just so glad that I don't have to deal with what's going on
the
right
craziness.
now. Yeah, just insane. And it's just, it's so much of it is just kind of off the cuff, and there's a lot of great teachers out there just doing the best they can
to get by.
And it's just my last. The only unfortunate part was my last day in the classroom was Friday the 13th of March.
Exactly.
Who goes out on March 13th?
Right. You couldn't even go out with like a parade or a bang or like kids putting the signs up.
Right.
Or like,
and that part's okay, but it was just so anticlimactic.
Yeah, definitely. But like, you get a taste of it with, me and, your other kids, Brian and Trey, being teachers, that like, you still get to see what it is, but you know that you don't have to deal with it. Correct. That's got to be a decent little feeling. Yeah. But, man, the most opportune time with all the craziness. But at the end of the day, though, you're getting to be out on the golf course, so it's hard for anybody to feel real bad for you.
Yes, I golf every day.
No, for sure. But let's go all the way back now. You are from a town that probably not a lot of people that listen to this show know about.
The cultural center of the Midwest.
Malden, Illinois, for those of you that don't know, if you're driving west on 80 and you get near the is it 180 that runs south?
180
so if you make that big loop to run south, you look off of the side of the ramp.
You get off on 180, you take Route 6 back towards Princeton. You take the first country road back to the right. That takes you into would take you straight into the big town of Dover.
Yep.
But if you go to that second stop sign and take a right, then that takes
you.
You can see the red, white, and blue water tower.
That's what I'm saying. If you're on 80 and you're going past 180, look over, you'll see the icy water water tower. Yeah. It looks like a giant icy. But you graduated from Malden in 1981, right?
Yep.
Okay. And you're in the top 5 scoring at Malden of all time, right? You are. I didn't think you were one.
No,
I thought there was a controversy about this.
No. I'm number one.
All right. Number one.
Yeah, I don't know the because I'm not sure what you'd have to ask Kevin Hieronymus. But it's number one at Malden.
Yeah,
and I don't know what it is in the county.
Okay,
but that's the great thing for me growing up in when I graduated, I think there were 61 kids in the whole high school.
Wow.
And my graduating class was huge. We had 17. So I not only did I know all of my classmates, I knew their mom and dads, I knew their aunts and uncles, their grandma and grandpas. I mean, so it was definitely a pretty tight-knit family while you were there. But the other opportunities were just great. I can remember, I think I was 8 or 9 years old starting out in minor league baseball. Mm-hmm. And then when I think I was 9, and the coach at the time, Mike Farley, who's still a big Princeton fan, and Augustana fan, he was the Little League coach, and he was friends with my dad, and he pulled my dad and I to the side and said, well, you're probably as good, if not better, than some of these 13-year-olds, but we got to keep you on minor leagues your second year.
And to develop with the guys that were your age.
And I'm 9 years. I just want to play. I was like, it's okay, not a big deal. And then when I did get to play my first game, I'm playing third base, and I have 5 errors, and all of them were pretty much throwing. I could pick it, but I was just a nervous wreck. And give Mike Farley a lot of credit that the next day at practice, he said, hey, can you stick around after? My dad was like, so he hit like ground balls to me for like half an hour, and I think my dad was with the first baseman. I don't think I had maybe one error the rest of the way through, but a 10-year-old going against 13. So that was and then in my last year, we had, again, another Malden coach, Billy Carlson there. So, and we end up winning the league.
Right.
Here's little old Malden, and we won the Barrel Valley League there. And then, of course, had my dad in Pony League, which really helped me with the hitting and pitching part of it. And then in basketball, we got to go out in 4th grade.
That's crazy. You don't hear that hardly. Like 5th grade is kind of the average starting point around here, but even then it's damn near like intramural, instructional stuff, like to actually play games in 4th grade. And so literally in 4th grade, now we didn't get to do a whole, because you got to imagine it's one coach coaching 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. So, and we're in this Malden grade school gym, which is so small that the free throw line is still the old key. Oh yeah, in which they had to paint on the new lines on the outer side of the circle to make it a regular lane, and the 2 free throw circles interlocked with a jump circle, so that meant that your 10-second line was the opposite free throw line, but your over and back was your free throw line, so you kind of had to get it down, and then you could bring it back. It was just, so you have 50 kids in this small gym. And so basically as a 4th grader, all we got to do, and we thought it was great. We got to rebound, because the 7th grade team, which was mainly 7th and 8th graders, were at one end, and the 7th grade team, which was the rest of the 7th graders, and the 6th graders were at the other end, and we got to rebound for them. We thought, oh my God, this is great. We got to rebound. And so, these 8th graders, they were gods to us back then. And especially, like you said, with the small town factor in it, you went to all those games. You looked up to all those guys. Games. Absolutely. So the only thing we got to do was like the first half an hour or so, we did ball handling every time and layup drill, And then basically the next hour and a half, we sat on the stage and we got to learn that way. Watch run plays. So when we got in there, man, we knew what we were doing, or you just didn't get a chance to play. And then you guys, you had success later in high school. You struggled right at the beginning. You told me when you were younger, like your freshman and sophomore year, you guys were brutal. Oh, yeah. But by the time your junior and senior year, everything started to kind of come together, right? Yeah, and you're talking about those opportunities. But I remember in 4th grade going to a Boy Scout meeting instead of to a because we even got to dress like for the 7th and 8th grade games. We went to a Boy Scout meeting because I knew I was never going to play. Yeah. But then in 5th grade, I actually got the chance to start on the 7th grade, not because I was actually pretty bad, but and we had so few 8th graders that the 7th graders had to, so they combined the 7th and 8th grade, I think, to get 11 or 12 kids. Jeez. So there was like 4 6th graders and me started on the 7th grade team, and again, I think we got second to last. Oh yeah. We just got killed. But then they brought those 7th graders down for the conference tournament. And the conference champs, the undefeated conference champs, which was Tisqual at the time, beat us by like 2 or 3. Okay. And then I'm still terrible, and I'm going into my 6th grade year, and I'll never forget Lloyd Johnson, who I had famous for 9 years. Lloyd Johnson, the Ohio Bulldogs, state runner-up. I had him for 9 years, and I'll never forget a Christmas vacation. He kind of pulls me off to the side after practice, and he goes, "Look," he goes, "you're going to have to take what you do in practice sometime, and you're going to have to start doing it in the game." Because at that time, I was the greatest practice player. But when I went to games, I sucked. I was just a nervous wreck. And he said, you just got to learn to relax and just pretend every game is practice. And for some reason, that stuck with me. And after that, I was fine. We were okay. And then you're right. My freshman year, I think we won 3 games. But Lloyd was just taking over, and Oh, so that was early in Lloyd's tenure at
that was
Malden.
his first year as a high school coach. Yep. So, and then we just got better each year, and had a lot of success those last 2 years.
That's awesome. And then you went and played 1 year at Illinois Wesleyan before moving on to Northern. Do you ever regret not staying at Wesleyan and playing?
No. No. I think if I have any regrets is not taking Dean Riley, who was an Ottawa coach at the time, and he was at IVCC, not taking him up on a chance to go play at IVCC.
Right.
That's my only regret. I think by the time I left Wesleyan, I was kind of just done with sports.
Yeah.
Well,
especially if you were starting in 4th grade and in Malden, like you had to play everything.
Right.
It didn't matter the sport. It's like, hey, you better get out there because we got 4 guys for the basketball team tonight.
Right. And we played, and we played baseball, basically for 3 or 4 months of the summer. But then the other months was all basketball. Yeah. Because we didn't have any other sports other than track. So. And we just did track just to get in shape for basketball
because it was nice out.
Let's
get out.
Right, so. Exactly. So I mean, I didn't regret it at all. By the time I went to Northern, I was ready to get on to the next stage of my life.
Definitely.
I was ready to get ready for my career.
For sure. And then speaking of your career, obviously you get into teaching and coaching. You've taught and coached at Tampico, Anawan, Polo, and Mendota. I'm not leaving any out, am I? That's all of them?
In the right order.
I thought I had that right.
My first teaching job was at Deer Grove.
Yes.
Which is now, I think, a gear company.
Yeah, something like that.
And they had 7th and 8th graders. And so I taught junior high science, and then I coached the 6th and 7th grade boys basketball and sophomore basketball with a guy named Steve Larson and Jimmy Brandow, who again is an Ohio boy, who's at Lamoille, and just loved it. And I literally took the job at Anawan like the weekend before school was supposed to start.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just it's Bruce Plassick, again another local name that went from Anawan to Princeton, left, and so I took his teaching job and the coaching job there, and I was there for 6 years. From there, went to Polo for 3, and then really came back to Mendota and spent the next 22 years because it was right between. It was literally perfect location between my parents living in Malden still, and my wife's parents living in Waterman. So it worked out beautifully for us, for a family.
And then, as they say, the rest is history. You've coached everything from boys varsity, sophomore boys basketball, varsity boys basketball, freshman girls basketball, sophomore girls basketball, assistant varsity girls basketball, freshman baseball, assistant sophomore varsity baseball, golf, head coach, and something on the football team. You were some sort of coordinator, freshman.
And I think I even coached Brienne's volleyball team for a tournament in Seneca.
So are you sure you don't want to just go back and take take the cross country team for you? Just make the whole round. Just be like the first person in Illinois history to coach every sport at one school.
Yeah, no, I think I'll pass. Because the biggest thing anymore is I just the commitment to summer is
there is really none.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
Especially when you're coaching so many sports, because in Illinois, if you don't know, like basketball gets a certain amount of days and volleyball gets a certain amount of days.
25 days.
Yeah, so
25
and then if you're doing football, then you're into July.
It's 50 days that you're, and I know some of them they'll do football and basketball on the same day, but that commitment, especially if you're going to have young kids, it's actually a little bit easier as your kids get into high school.
Right.
It actually, as long as they go to your school.
Yeah, definitely.
If they're going to another school, then that makes it a whole nother story.
For sure.
But I mean, I guess the biggest thing that I miss about the coaching is, being around the kids.
Definitely.
It's going to the practices. I really never. For me, and that's what it wasn't the games as much. I know when I first started, I was the coach that, was chasing the next big job and. I wanted to take a team to state, and then, I got to thank you.
Yeah,
I
you're
had
welcome.
Kids. Yeah, having kids, and it kind of put things back into the perspective about, really what is important, what's not important, and treating my players more like my kids.
Definitely,
and I think that helped me a lot.
Yeah, and you talk about, and you have had the success. You won a regional at Anawan in 90. was that 3?
90 or 91.
Okay, so
yeah,
90,
we upset
91.
the 5th-ranked team in the state, Rock Island All.
And I know it's still a sore subject 30 years later, but the Orangeville game, you were a couple possessions away from.
Yeah, at Highland we got down big. We put a press on, and I'll never forget. We had an all-stater, Jason Sealis at the time was going up. And we were taking our first lead of the game, and he makes a steal on the press, and he's going to go up to dunk. And at Highland, they have a rubber court.
Yeah.
And
they don't anymore.
Foggy.
They're replacing it.
Thank God. But it was foggy and humid, and he kind of slipped a little bit, and he just laid it in. So we got our 2 points, and we took the first lead of the game, but our crowd was kind of like, oh. They were kind of disappointed.
Yeah. Because that would have been nail in the coffin on a dunk, man.
And we end up going into overtime, and so we're up, I think we're up 1 point with like 4 seconds to go. And one of my best defenders, Drew Van Kerbrock, who's now a doctor, slipped, and we left their all-stater wide open but it was like a turnaround, and he was a post player.
Oh, okay.
And we really my kids did a really good job defending him in the low block, and he caught this like at the elbow extended.
Okay.
And so they made one pass down the sideline, threw it into him, and Drew had slipped and fallen. And the kid turned around and he fake left, turned around, nothing but net at the buzzer. We lose by 1. And then they end up winning in overtime versus Dunlap, the next in super section.
Oh, my God.
It was so close.
Yeah, and
so
then
close.
Obviously as an assistant coach, you were there for Mendota's 2013 regional, their first since 99 with Trey, my brother and your youngest son's team. So there has been the success, but like you nailed it, man. And it's the connections and everything that go along with it. Even teaching and coaching wise, is it still the kids, the interactions that you miss the most out of that?
And the thing about too is in Mendota that faculty there is really kind of a family there. I mean it's one of the
it's funny you even say
groups.
that. Me and Jess were out at dinner tonight, and we ran into Bob Guerrero, who was the resource officer at school when I was there, and he came over and talked to. And I've been graduated for what are we talking 11 years now, and he came over and talked. You're very right. It's very family. Sorry, my ADHD jumped into my brain there.
But it is. I mean, you walk down the hallway. Hey, how you doing? How's and you know their kids is and Mendota's done a great job of getting. Teachers now that their kids are going to come through the school.
Oh, yeah.
And so, they definitely want it. They definitely care. They definitely want that school to be good. And I think that having shareholders there, stakeholders.
Definitely.
I think it just helps all the way around. So I do miss that. I miss, and now there's so many of those kids that I taught or coached. There, which adds another dimension, another layer to that. So
even think about all the kids that you like. Obviously, I coach there with you, and then all the guys even on our staff that are the head varsity baseball coach, the head girls basketball coach, the assistant varsity boys basketball, all the kids that you coach throughout, and even soccer coaches that you. It's the connection, and like it goes back to what you were talking about, Malden and that small town, family feeling, but. Before we wrap things up, what is the thing that you're looking forward to the most with retirement? I know I probably should have asked you this back in March when you actually got to retire.
I'm looking forward to, I'll probably go to all the Mendota home games. Yeah. But I'm also looking forward to, calling up my buddies and saying, hey, the game of the week is, so-and-so versus so-and-so at such and such. Hey, you want to go?
Right. One of those weird nights where, like, Simeon's playing in like the suburbs somehow.
Right. Or there's former teacher Rolling Meadows going up and seeing them.
We definitely got to go see Max Christie.
Even if the game of the week is LP at Ottawa, right? If it's it doesn't matter. Pick out whoever it is. Hey, let's go see this kid. And so I'm looking forward to that, is going and seeing games.
I'm very jealous. That's one of my favorites. And me and you do it during Christmas. Jump in the car. We ended up at Hinsdale Central and York last year, just driving around the suburbs.
That's fun. I mean, to me, that's going to, because what do we see? 4 or 5 Division I kids.
At least. And actually, now that more's coming out, like there was a kid we saw at DePaul Prep. They've got 3 kids that got D1 offers now. Right. So at the time, we probably saw 4 or 5 kids that were going D1 this year. We went back in December. But now we're looking at,
probably another 4 or 5.
Yeah, exactly. That we didn't even, consider at the time. There was a kid from Oh, where was the big school?
And it's just a different different brand of basketball.
Oh, yeah. Hoffman. Is it, no, not Hoffman Estates. That's going to drive me nuts. They were red and black. They had the really big kid who's going to college at Charleston. Homewood Flossmoor. They've got a couple other D1 kids. So now anything like we've talked on the show a million times about the different baseball parks I've been to. Are you now that you have the time? Are you going to hit NBA stadiums? Are you doing hockey? What's the plan now that you can afford to do that?
We better not bring that up to your mom, to my wife. I don't know if she'd go for that. But I guess the only thing I kind of even remotely thought about was just because it would be easier to do are the football stadiums.
Yeah.
And actually, I guess there's so many, just like the Big Ten football stadiums around here. I've been to Northwestern, and I've been to Illinois, and that's been about it. So just going to those, and I guess I still got to get to Arlington to see the Rangers' new stadium
for sure.
So, and I still hope Tampa gets a new one, but. No, I think I still am going to enjoy going to like the Cub affiliates, going to South Bend, going to Des Moines, going to Myrtle Beach, going to the Smokies, and
I think Tennessee. One would be good to knock out all like the Midwest League. Yeah, like that's a doable one too. Yeah. So,
and I will, but only if like the South Bend Cubs are there.
Right,
so it might take me a couple years for that. So no, I don't have any goals. I just want to golf.
So I'm thinking that you knock the Midwest League out, and then from there you go and you knock the hockey. Because you do hockey and basketball all in one,
you could.
For the most part. Because there's very few cities that don't have both sports. But
you could.
It's doable, but
Yeah.
We'll get a plan together.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'll help you concoct a little plan, and maybe get you in a little. You can blame it on me. Mom's not gonna be mad at me.
And now it probably is a little bit more doable in the wintertime. And,
definitely.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind going south for the winter.
You'd have to hit
so I could do all those southern ones.
Right, you'd have to hit all the north ones like early, when the season starts in October, November, and then as the season goes, you just.
I'm going to have you run this past your mom.
I'm working. All right,
it's okay.
Mom, I know you're listening to this, so when you hear this, just know I'm working on a plan. I got this. But Dad, thank you so much. This was part 2. It was great having you in. I know we got some amazing feedback. So you're now a reoccurring guest on the show. So you have to come on anytime we ask you.
I'm going to start getting billing rights here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we'll get you right on that. But anything else for the people before we let things go?
No, it's been a great, wonderful ride, and I can't. Coaching wise, can't thank my players and parents. For the most part, can't. It's been it's been a lot of fun, and kind of hard to believe sometimes they pay me to do what I was doing.
I could think of a couple that I wouldn't want to thank for you, but we'll keep that between us.
Yeah. There's always going to be those. But the good.
When you look at it, at
99 to 1,
34 years,
right. When you can count the bad on one hand,
definitely,
you've had a good career.
And I've only been doing it for a lot less time than that. 6 years, and I'm the same way. You don't think about the ones that cause the problem. It's the ones that you had a good connection with.
Yeah,
and the ones you see at dinner. And
the kids you taught that are doctors and lawyers and even truck drivers. The ones that are they're doing
what are we going contributing members of society?
Correct.
Definitely right. That's. I think anybody that knows you knows that that was what you were, and you talked about it early on wanting to win state championships, but then you realizing that at the end that there's more important things. But I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much for coming on, ladies and gentlemen. That was my dad, Brian Blumhorst, local legend.
Thanks again to my dad, Brian Blumhorst, for jumping in with me and talking about a little bit more than his hole-in-ones on the golf course, talking about life. Being a retired teacher and coach and kind of moving on from that and looking to the next journey in his life. So one more time, thank you to my dad, Brian Blumhorst, for coming on. But let's jump into another segment, one of my favorites. I say that a lot, but I love all of our segments. So everyday Madden ratings, boys, I got a couple I'm going to throw out. Give yourself a rating. If you don't remember this, we did this back in early quarantine. Scale 0 to 100 as if you were getting your Madden trading card written up. This is a weird one, and I want to know your guys' input. Changing dead light bulbs.
How do you,
Like the ability or the like how well I actually do them and without letting
Like
it sit.
your speed, your hands, like your process.
I have to do an 80 because I can't stand when if there's a light and the light bulb does not work. It just annoys the hell out of me.
Okay.
It's like a pet peeve. I don't know what it is, but if there is a light that I use a lot and the bulb goes out and I don't change it like right away, it just, I don't know, makes me go
So
crazy.
then that kind of probably carries into your technique going into screwing the light. Like you're just quick, you're pissed off. Probably affects your performance. Zach's been into my basement. Matt, you have not, but I have like the I don't even know what you call them, but like the tube lights. So like a regular light bulb, I'm really like I'm pretty good with it. I can do stuff without seeing it, but like I'm gonna give myself a rating on the tube lights because I have to replace these a lot more. And I'll be honest, I'm like a 48 because I have dropped probably or not secured them enough and have probably shattered 4 light bulbs in the last 2 years we've lived in this house. Zach, I think Zach was here tonight. It just fell out of the thing and just shattered.
It sounds like your hands are pretty low. So like fumble ratings got to be very high.
Yeah, it's bringing me down a little bit. Like my ambition is great. I never let a
maybe a little too ambitious.
He can't hold on to it when he takes the hit. I mean, it's
I'm also really bad at determining which size bulb. Like I've bought the wrong size bulb in the wrong wattage. There's like
we're
7 or 8.
We got to be 50s or 60s at this point, aren't we?
Dude, it's bad. It's not good.
You brought this up too.
I know.
Was this a confession more than a Madden ratings or what?
It's kind of both. I'm kind of using this as a place to vent to you guys. I need to work on some things in my life, man.
Fortunately, you got Zach. Your cousin's an 80, so maybe go.
Zach, I'm giving you a call next time. I need a light bulb switch down here.
There we go.
He's like
Andy's taller. I have to stand on things. Zach doesn't have to stand on things.
See, what you got to do is you got to give yourself a rating now, and then maybe 6-7 months from now you'll fix it. You'll be better.
Self-improvement.
I'm gonna say I'm like a 73. I'm like a journeyman. I can fill in when I need to. I'll make a big play and get a light bulb change very quickly. Occasionally, when the stage is when the lights are on bright, so to say, no pun intended, or should I say not bright in this case. Nailed it. I'm gonna say 73. It's just like one of those things that I get probably slack more than I need to. Like I know there's a light in my pantry right now that has been off, not working for 2 weeks. There's only one bulb in there that works. It's a 2-light fixture, and until that second one goes out, I know I'm not fixing it. That's where I'm in that 73, that journeyman range. I'm not really.
So we really just need to work on
I don't show up every day. Let's just say I don't bring my lunch pail every day to the light bulb changing game.
You're like that offensive lineman that does his job, but like just hangs out at his locker instead of like going to the weight room or working on.
Probably, yeah. David Wells.
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah,
that's a great analogy. All right, let's move on.
Get the job done. Throw a perfect game with a hangover when I need to. We'll just say that.
I love it. Let's move on. Sweeping the floor. I'll be honest. My anal retentiveness, my OCD gets the best of me.
What did you just say?
You need to read a book.
Zach's reaction's the best.
Okay, it's like doing a podcast with a 7-year-old. Read a book, you uncultured swine.
Sweeping the floor. Get into it, Boomy. Give us the sweeping the floor.
Yeah, what do you?
I'm going like an 88. I'm high on this because not only do I use the traditional broom, I also bust out the Swiffer and go on after that. So I'm pretty good at the old floor sweep.
Mine is going to be somewhere in that same range of my light bulb changing. It's not a max effort. I do it when I need to. Journeyman 73-ish, 74, somewhere in that neck of the nib.
All right.
I gotta hear this one now.
I have an upper 80s because I don't like there being shit all over the floor. I don't have much of a hardwood floor in my house right now. But if I ever have stuff all over, it just kind of annoys me. I'm kind of
fair.
I'm kind of a clean freak in a way. I don't like things to be dirty. And it's probably because of I'd have to blame my grandfather and my father, but that is just I don't know, OCD kind of thing.
Yeah, definitely. There was like the other day, I don't know, I was moving stuff around and there was like one of those big dust balls on the floor, and I had to go get the broom and literally sweep the whole kitchen just from this one little thing. So I'm with you, Zach. And our last everyday Madden rating. Let's go. This is one I really want to know about, fellas. Parallel parking.
Oh, no, never done it.
Never done it.
I've done it. I can do it, but I have a truck. I tried to avoid it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
You get a little bit of a leave.
And also, I mean, I feel like I've parked in the city a lot. If I do, it's like at a parking garage at this point. But,
okay,
sorry.
So
I'm going to give myself an automatic 0. An automatic 0.
Okay.
I'm going to give myself an 84. I'm very good at it, but I've also may or may not have bumped into a car at a very slow pace and left without saying anything a couple times.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If there's nothing to go, just go.
Yeah, no. It's if it's a parallel park job, it's required, and you get a little tap. That's where you start losing your rating points. You don't start losing your morality points, in my opinion.
No harm, no foul.
Yep.
I'm with you. I'm somewhere in like the mid 70s. I'm not bad at it, but I will take 17 turns to make it happen. Yep. That's where I leave my point. I will sit there and turn the wheel as many as 25 times until I get it right. Like it's one of those, like, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to squeeze. And like I've driven in, bigger cities.
I can see you being the guy that goes forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards, forward, backwards.
I'm not
forward.
It becomes personal after so long, and I'm just like, this is not getting the best of me. So, yeah, I'm somewhere low 73 is what I'm going to go with.
You can fit that vibe in some places too.
That definitely helps. The vibe is like the size of like a good sized cardboard box, so pretty easy to maneuver around. So that helps a lot. It's like a cardboard box with wheels, man. It helps.
Boomy's like like Fred Flintstone over there.
We can't even talk about it. I don't know how much longer the vibes got left, so I'm just keeping my fingers crossed. It's running.
We'll jinx it.
Just definitely.
Moving to a segment we debuted last week, over-unders. So I'm going to throw 3 different topics out. We're going to debate whether they are overrated, underrated, or perfectly rated. And I'm going to start off with ice water. And I'm going to give mine here real quick. I think ice water, and you guys are going to hate this, I think it's a touch overrated. I am more of a room temperature water guy.
Oh my God. You are a serial killer. Jesus.
All right, here's why, though. So I've been over this 100 times on the show, all of the dental problems that I've had over the years. And I had a lot of sensitivity when they were before I went to the dentist after 10 years. So I tried to taught myself just to be okay with room temperature water. And now it's just, I did it for so long that it's just the norm.
First of all, if you're going that long without getting your teeth checked and it affects the temperature of your water, maybe you waited too long.
We've already established things we talked about a year ago.
You like
warm
water?
I didn't say warm water. I said room temperature water.
Warm.
No, it's not.
Room temperature is 72 degrees. You can swim in 72 degree water.
Is warm water.
You can swim in 72 degree water.
Now I'm gonna have to start taking the temperature of my room temperature water because I don't think it's that low.
Maybe your basement where it's cold.
Maybe I'm just talking like out of the tap. I don't know. I know it's weird, but I think it's just what I like.
I want that borderline ice itself. I want it as cold as it can possibly be before it turns into ice.
Though.
Properly rated.
Yeah, it's properly rated as delicious.
You are insane, though, sir.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah. Get him a tea.
I'm not arguing with you. I know I'm weird. I'm not drinking like boiling water, all right?
75 degrees and it's fucking warm.
Whatever.
Water is
I didn't say I'm not weird. I wasn't arguing that. That's just who I am.
Let's see how weird you are. Let's see.
Fan at night. Overrated, underrated.
Underrated.
Underrated. I mean, I have to have a fan. If I don't,
Boomy likes to sleep in 1,000-degree weather.
God.
Overrated.
Shut up, dude.
Give me a fan that doesn't make the noise and we'll talk. But
That's
if we have a fan that makes noise, I can't hear the TV when I'm going to bed.
Oh my God. Maybe you need to figure it out.
Or just like use air conditioning like a normal person.
I have it.
my
I don't.
God.
Then why do you need a fan?
Because I like the noise of it. It's literally
I like
noise
the flow.
and it's just how I sleep.
Flow.
You know what?
Give
Turn
me
your
the
TV
flow.
off. You turn your TV off, and you'll figure out why I need the fan.
You turn your TV on and you won't need a fan.
Oh, that's what I mean. You are used to having your TV. I'm used to having the fan. That's why I need.
Boomy's officially a serial killer. Let's just get to the point.
He's an idiot.
I'm just different.
You're weird.
That's what Dahmer said. I'm just different.
Stop.
That was your mom. That's your mom says you. Chance, you're just different. No, you're weird.
All right, last one, and this is given to me by
everything tonight. You set yourself up for.
I mean, you're not wrong. I can't even argue with you.
Came up with all these
hitting the snooze button. Hitting the snooze button. Is it overrated, underrated?
I think it's
or perfectly rated.
I'll have to say it's overrated in the fact of when I do it, I'm horrible at it. If I hit it once, I'm going back to sleep for a while. I don't know what happens to me.
Yeah,
it's like I go into a deeper sleep once I hit that snooze button. So I guess it wouldn't have to say it's overrated. I would just have to say I'm not good at that. Yeah. I need to get up right away or I'm screwed.
I'm with you on that because if I don't really use like a typical snooze button, but like I set like 2 or 3 alarms in the morning. I just know when they're going off, and they're usually 10 to 15 minutes apart. And like it's one of those things that I do, and I hate that I do it, and I need to stop doing it. So I wish that I just didn't use it. So I'm with you on that, Zach. I think it's overrated just because I hate that I do it.
I'm going properly rated.
Properly.
Well, unfortunately for Matt, he has a child that is probably
that eliminates your snooze button.
Yeah.
Especially like today, it was 5 a.m. He's just screaming into his monitor for me to come get him. Maggie's just passed out next to me, just out like a light, and he's screaming into the monitor, waking me up. So
that sounds fun.
It's glorious, let me tell you.
All right, and I know since we're on the train of me being an absolute lunatic, speaking of alarms, I was telling my dad this, and I still can't believe my wife ended up marrying me. When I was in college, I used to every night set a random alarm for a very odd time in the morning. And like I would literally, so like my alarm clock dial thing. Just wait, Matt, this is going to get weird. So like it had a dial thing. And I would literally like set it for 3 a.m. and then I would spin the dial and hit OK. So I never knew when the alarm was going off. And I would wake up somewhere
Russian roulette.
But here's the reason why is because I would wake up at like 3:26 or whatever the time landed on that morning. And I would think that it was 7 a.m. So when I looked at my phone and I'm like, hey, I still got 4 hours of sleep. I literally did that for 5 years.
Oh my God. Imagine if you had one of those Whoop bands back then and you did that. And it'd be like you had the worst night's sleep ever.
I did that every night for like from the time I moved to DeKalb when I was 19 until probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago.
It's really and truthfully, you think about it, you're probably fucking your sleep up a little bit.
Well, yeah, but like I'm telling you though, like when you get that like in the middle of the night, when you wake up and you're
like, that, but like it's almost like are you like addicted to it or something like that feeling when you wake up?
Got like it would just became such a habit.
It's crazy because you know how that would. I mean, what imagine if you couldn't go back to sleep?
That only happened a couple times.
You know what I mean, though. Like if I hear an alarm, it's not like it's just easy to go back to a sleep. Like,
but I had to stop doing it because
you are crazy, my friend.
I know, but I got to the point where like it wasn't waking me up anymore, and like the alarm would literally just go off for like 3 hours.
Yeah, and just annoy the hell out of the people around you, aka your wife.
Yeah, so I think probably when we moved in together was when I had to stop doing that. So
Well, that's probably good because you
just
would
a little glimpse into a little bit more of my weirdness.
Yeah, hopefully your wife does not listen to this because this will really shine light on a lot of.
Trust me, she knows I'm weird. All right, I think she's figured that part out by now. But last segment of the night, let's get into it. TCF Rewrites the Rules. This is a segment that we have done in the past. Going way back. It's been probably close to a year since we've talked about this segment, but we, especially some of us, aka me, have really weird, dumb brains, and sometimes we come up with different ways to write the rules for professional sports. And mine is kind of simple, but watching hockey on Matt's advice tonight and talking to my dad. Get rid of offsides in hockey. Get rid of offsides in soccer. If you want to play a man down on defense to go cherry pick, you can cherry pick in basketball. Why can't you cherry pick in hockey? If you want to play 5-on-4 and risk giving up a goal like that, that should be your prerogative.
Guess you're not wrong.
I think offsides in soccer makes way less sense than it does in hockey.
In hockey, yeah, because it's a smaller.
Like where you just can't even like run past the defender. Well, what if the defender sucks and he's slow? You know, like like this is weird. That whole thing is I don't know. That soccer offside.
Like if you want to play 5-on-4 on defense all the time, like you're allowed to.
No, I agree. I agree with hockey. I just think like soccer's their offside just doesn't make any sense at all, in my opinion.
Gotcha. If it doesn't make sense, then I say we just get rid of it.
I agree. I don't oppose you there on this one.
Guys, mine is we gotta do something about flopping in the NBA. Like we should have a foul that is like you get called out for flopping. Like penalty box or something, because sometimes it gets ridiculous. It gets absolutely ridiculous. Like especially with like Chris Paul, James Harden, like the superstars that are doing it. It's like I think if you like kind of almost call them out in a way and almost try to embarrass them for doing it, then maybe they would stop doing it.
Yeah. Actually, that was another thing my dad had brought up about penalty box in basketball. That'd be a great way to implement it for flopping.
Yeah,
I like
flop, or like if you do something like that's one of the penalties why you could go in there. Good. That's
or like if you flop, it counts as like 2 personal fouls.
Yeah. Like you have to, like especially like here in the bubble, you could do like you have to sit across the court from your team for like a certain amount of time and watch from over there.
That's genius. I love that. Maddie, what are you rewriting?
I'm rewriting every major sport in America, and I'm going to say every major sport needs a play-in round of at least 4 games of single elimination. So I want four games, so 8 teams play for the last remaining playoff spots in their respective sports, because I need elimination sports. I need elimination games. These game 7s today, there was one at 3:00 in the afternoon. I'm working from home on my computer, and I have an unbelievable hockey game on right next to me. Give me that juice. I love elimination games. The NCAA tournament's that's my favorite time of the year. All that is 63 games of elimination basketball. So feed it into my veins directly. Let's get it. Every sport. Let's go.
I love it. Those are great rewriting the rules. And boys, that's all we got. That was episode 79 of Typical Chicago Fans.
No morning show Monday. No morning show Monday. We're gonna be having ourselves a weekend. I know Matt's gonna be taking off for the weekend, and I will be having fun this weekend. So we're gonna be a little sauced up on Sunday, so we won't be able to. We're gonna have ourselves a nice little 3-day weekend. We'll be back at it on Tuesday. Sorry, Boomy.
Nope, you're good, buddy. Thank you to our sponsor, 26shirts.com/Chicago. Make sure you head on over to their website, pick out some great Chicago merchandise. They help out great causes in the city as well. So if you enjoy helping out good causes, you love great merchandise, and you love our podcast, use the code Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off your order. I'm telling you, you're going to find a shirt, a flag, a hat that you like. Just head on over there, check out what they got, go to the checkout, Typical Chicago Fans at checkout for 15% off, and send us the screenshot that you use the code. And on October 2nd, we're giving away free t-shirts. If we get ourselves to 10, we've got at least 2, and the more we get, the more we give away. So get on that. Typical Chicago Fans promo code is the promo code for 26shirts.com/Chicago. Thank you one more time to my dad for coming on the show tonight, doing part 2 of the interview with him for our local legends segment. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at typical_Chicago. The Facebook and the Twitter are just type in typical Chicago fans as well. Like and follow on there. Apple Podcast, subscribe, rate, and review. Spotify, make sure to follow there. We're also on Spreaker, Google Podcasts. You can find us wherever you get your podcast. YouTube page for everything we do in video form. It's all there. Food reviews, podcasts, daily shows, any of the other nonsense that we've done, and more stuff coming. Me and Zach have been cooking up some ideas, so you're going to see a lot more on the YouTube page, so make sure you head over
with the NFL
there.
season coming up here soon.
Definitely. Betting show, gambling shows, some food reviews. It's going to be loaded over there, so make sure you head on over to YouTube and follow us there. Make sure to follow the guys that are with me here tonight. Zach at Z Lilia TCF, Maddie Pucks, and what was the other nickname we came up with?
I don't know. I already forgot it. It was so legendary. It was good one. I know that. You had it.
We're gonna have to run the tape back.
Once I run the I'll probably have to put it in my bio tomorrow.
Yep, exactly. But he is at schools_01. Like I said, I'm on Twitter at Boomy TCF. Make sure to follow all of us on Twitter. And that was episode 79. We love you all.
Peace.
Peace.